All right. Here we go, guys and gals. And boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, drivers.
Welcome to the Loose Wheel Podcast, episode number 28. I want to say, I don't know. This pretty big numbers here, Ethan Ignatowski.
Yeah, we're getting up there in this season for sure. This is episode 28. You are correct with that. Quick little check to confirm. But yes, episode 28. As Andrew says, we are here and we're going to talk about
Racing.
Yes.
Get into the reviews.
And now for last week's race reviews.
There's my chicken award. I'm going to use it for later. I know what I'm going to use it for. You don't, so haha. Pocono. Stage 1. Ty Gibbs. He leads from pole. We had a Noah Gragson crash lap 14, which that began the strategy split, which would be prevalent throughout the day. On strategy A, you had Gibbs, which I believe was a stay-out strategy, Byron, Truex, Reddick, Blaney. And on the other strategy, it was Logano, Bell, McDowell, and the two RFK cars, Keselowski and Buescher. On the restart, Gibbs and Berry overcooked the corner. They lose positions. Truex to the lead, some pit before the stage end. Stage caution, some pit. Again, the people that didn't pit the top five were Logano, Keselowski, Bell, Jones, Buescher. Of the guys that pitted, you had Elliott, Reddick, Hamlin, Byron, Bowman. Keselowski to lead on the lap 36 restart. Logano overcooked the corner, slid up turn 1. Chastain spins and steering issue lap 54. Most coming in and pit. Only ones that didn't were Gibbs, Berry, and Cindric. Some took 2, but the top 5 guys all took 2. But a few took 4. There's a split there of Hamlin, Truex, Byron, Blaney, and Zane Smith were the top 5 out on 2. Berry to lap the lead on the lap 58 restart. Hamlin to lead on lap 68. Hamlin won stage 2. After everyone pits, the order is Reddick, Keselowski, Gilliland, Larson, and Jones. 38 was on 2 tires. Everyone else on 4. 6 guys stayed out. Buescher, Berry, Blaney, Gibbs, Truex, Cindric. Buescher holds the lead. Gilliland in the lap 116. Everyone pits. Most were on 2 tires. You had Larson, Blaney, Elliott, Hamlin, Bowman. Larson and Elliott, Gibbs, and Suarez all sped on pit road. Blaney leads on restart. Big wreck. 7 just kind of shoved the 8 on for no particular restart. That had Kyle Busch in the 8s, collected Burton, Allmendinger, Hocevar, Priest, and Stenhouse. They were all involved. 34 to go restart. Blaney holds the lead. 4 wide in, and you had the Nemechek into Smith, who hit Mike McDowell. Nemechek and Smith had big damage. 29 to go restart. Blaney holds the lead. Gibbs blows an engine. Caution there. 23 to go. Blaney holds the lead, and Ryan Blaney wins. It was a 6 out of 10 race. Interesting strategy throughout the race was a good thing, but with the actual on-track racing, wasn't quite the best. But
I enjoyed having it on in the background as I did other things. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. One other thing was valid, one was not. Anyway, IndyCar. They had 2 races at Iowa. Both. If you combine my ratings, they were not as good as the NASCAR race. Race 1, Herta. Well, so I was doing things. I was making a pizza. Okay. And I had my TV on NBC Saturday night, hoping that I would get the IndyCar race. But no, there was some certain things happened in America which had special news coverage, so I had to go find CNBC.
You can say what it was, Andrew.
We don't need to talk about it here. So I had to go on CNBC. Yay. So I missed the first 20 laps or so, and my DVR wasn't once again not recording. Yay. Anyway, Herta had the lead from pole. That's, gosh. There was a lap 1 caution with Malukas, Grosjean, Canapino, and Lundgaard. Malukas spun into the Tuncoast cars, and then Lundgaard just spun off in the back. Santino on the restart. Santino, drive-through penalty, out of line on the restart, and stop and go for not serving the penalty. Good job, Santino. We went green on lap 19. Jack Harvey retires due to his back pain on lap 35. The team and Tim Harvey wanted to get Connor Daly in the car, but they could not get Daly could not get to the track in time to have a special session, as Iowa has pre-race concerts. So yeah, but they aren't gonna let noted Iowa pole setter Connor Daly in a race. Kind of weird, kind of stupid, but rules are rules, and it does make sense that they don't want to have. It does make sense. I see where they're coming from. I don't agree with the rule, but the rule is a rule. They probably should have not had Harvey drive the car in the first place. But Ray Hall had an issue, caution lap 81. Everyone pits. Scott McLaughlin to the lead, and he led Herta, Dixon, Pato, and Alex Rossi. Close stalls on pit road. McLaughlin holds the lead. Power had a speeding penalty. He had to drive through. 8 had Lundqvist had a drive change lane on the restart penalty. I have 175 low crashes. Herta just pitted from second, so his strategy was kind of screwed. But the top 5 were McLaughlin, Award, Dixon, Newgarden, and Marcus Armstrong, of all people. No, that should be Willpower. I don't know. Oh, I guess Marcus Armstrong was up there. No, it was Rinus VK. I knew something was off about that. I put the 11 instead of the 21. Lundqvist pulled off yellow. Restart, McLaughlin holds the lead. Armstrong had his caution lights on, which right behind him, Colton Herta had a half spin, which Indy called a yellow, but Herta saved it. Restart 22 to go yellow because Will Power ran over Fittipaldi. Ed Carpenter got involved. Had nowhere to go, I guess. Scott McLaughlin holds the lead, about 12 to go. 12 will contact, stop and hold for 30 seconds. McLaughlin wins. So yeah, 1 pass, and it was on pit road. Fun. Just not great. Race 2. Scott McLaughlin leads from pole. Green flag pit stops. Caution mid-cycle because Canapino spun out of pits. Power was the only one out on track. Pelot had just pitted, so that was good for him because Pelot inherited the lead. Power second, McLaughlin third. Dixon and then Herta. Pelot holds lead on the restart. 60 had an issue. He was running top 10. Green flag pit stops. Same order. But Power to the lead on an overcut. power wins. And then on the last lap, big crash. Rossi ran out of gas. Stingray rods slammed into Rossi and flipped multiple times. Kirkwood and Ed Carpenter spun in avoidance. Ed Carpenter got airborne as well. So yeah, that was a 2 out of 10 race for me. Why was the racing so bad? I had two things, really. First thing is Firestone decided this was the only tire race on the schedule. Every other race was fuel. That's what was dictating. So what does Firestone do? Bring a hard tire. Ruins the tire, the greatness of having it being a tire race. Cars always pushing. There's no saving. So that was good. Firestone brought a hard tire. That kind of led to it being worse. And the repave of the bottom lane, which was the dominant lane already. We don't need to be repaving the dominant lane. Repave like the top stuff. That was what was bad. That those two things took the passing away, made what was a 2-lane racetrack into a single groove racetrack. It was a bad watch. Solid 3 passes this weekend for the lead, and they're all in the pit lane. In the hybrid era, we've had 4 passes for the lead, all in pit lane, which I don't attribute to the hybrids. This is kind of coincidental, just the tracks aren't the greatest. So I believe we're going to Toronto next. I have no read on Toronto because I've never been able to watch that race. Thanks, Peacock, for existing. And I've also never been able to play it in a racing game. So who knows? I don't know. This is a big question mark for me of what will happen. I think it will be better. But
hopefully.
Yeah, I don't. But this is not a hybrid issue. Ed Carpenter, however, I gave this consideration for a chicken award because he said, "Oh, we spent way too much money on these hybrids to make the racing worse." I don't think that's the issue.
It's too early to
yeah. It's too early to tell. We've had 2 of a racetrack that was bad, and then we've made a racetrack bad. We'll see. We'll get to Toronto. Maybe it will be better. Maybe it will be worse. This is not. He's just. I think he's someone who didn't want to go to hybrid because he is a team owner. He knows what he's spending, and like he said, it was like. He said something weirdly, which made me think, Ed, you're taking away Christian Rasmussen, a young driver, to put yourself in a car, and you aren't nearly as competitive as your teammate on the ovals, except for the only race that you are competitive is the Indy 500. Ed, take a long look in the mirror and go make yourself an Indy-only driver. Ed has been doing the ovals only for a while now, and because that's what he was good at in his day. He was a great old driver. Now he's just old, and that's what happens when you get old. You aren't as good. So that's what I have to do. Sao Paulo. In Hypercar, we're going to go over this quickly. 7 Toyota, they led early. The 8 led most of the race. 7 led at times on strategy. 7 had damage, but came back to, I think, 4th. Then 7, the 6 and 12 Porsches, they had contact, and the 38 Toyota was given a penalty late. The 8 Toyota won. Iron Dames, Lambo led early. They would turn the lead over to the Pure Racing Manthey, who held the lead for the rest of the race. Iron Dames would retire due to something breaking on the car. 91, the Manthey EMA car, they had a drive-through. And then another incident with bad damage, so they fell off. Moving over to Moss Sport. LMP2 to the start, the pole setter. The 99, Drive-through penalty at the start, second in as many races. So that's something they need to work on there, just not jumping the start and screwing that up. 52, Inter-Europol by PR1 Mathiasen Motorsports. They would lead for the rest of the race. A couple crashes happened in LMP2, the 20. The high-class car, they crashed. The 18 Air car, they crashed late. GTD Pro, the 3 led most of the race. The Corvette, 4 led on strategy. And the 14 Lexus retired late due to an engine. First time that the Corvette has won in IMSA or WEC in GT3, Ethan. So how about them apples?
How about them apples?
And then finally in GTD, 96 BMW, they led early, spun from the lead. And then 27 Aston Martin inherited the lead, never lost it. Ethan, it's time for the news.
Let's do it.
And now for the news.
Noah Gragson. He joins Front Row Motorsports in 2025 on a multi-year deal. Car number is unknown. I would assume this would be the 34, but who knows? Noah Gragson, solid driver. Definitely deserves to be in Cup Series. He's going to bring some sponsorship over, I would imagine, from Bass Pro. They've had a lot of sponsorship for him. I'm trying to think of what other sponsors I think he might be bringing over. I can't think right now. But Bass Pro, they've been a long-time backer of him. I would expect them to continue to back him with sponsorship there. Black, and then maybe some of the other sponsors here. Miller Tech, Superior, SX, Serve Pro, whatever. Who knows? We'll see what happens with the Gragson. I think this is a good move for the team. A solid driver, as I said, Cup Series driver. He's ran well this season. And solid move for the driver. He stays in the Cup Series. The solid team that's on the rise. So the only Stewart-Haas driver left to sign is Ryan Preece. I think it's Xfinity or trucks or ride for him. And then Front Row Motorsports will have another driver to announce at some point. Probably going to bring someone up from Xfinity or trucks. We'll see. NASCAR
Time will tell.
Yep. NASCAR bringing the All-Star option tire to Richmond Raceway. I don't know how to feel about this. This is the first time in a race that they're doing 2 tires that are not dry and wet. They're dry and other dry. I don't know why they just call it normal and soft, hard and soft. Just that would be easier. I don't know why. But anyway, I'd like Goodyear and NASCAR to bring a super soft tire like they did to Bristol, which put on a great race. Bring that to the short tracks. Or if you don't want to go that soft, just bring a softer tire. Something that wears, because that's what worked. You had drivers liking it. You had fans liking it. It was interesting to see cars that are super slow and cars that are super fast. I don't know. I feel like NASCAR's just overcomplicating it here. And then speaking of NASCAR overcomplicating things, they fined Bubba Wallace for that incident at the Chicago Street Course, which is frustrating for me because there's been a lot of times where drivers have hit drivers into wall, spun drivers out, made contact with others under post race. And they say, okay, we're doing it with Bubba Wallace. Chase Elliott and Daniel Suarez, they made contact. I think Elliott put Suarez on the wall. They didn't fine him anything for it. What are we doing, NASCAR? We don't need to create a gray area when we have a black and white. This is just, I don't know. I don't know anymore what NASCAR is doing. If we're going to find people, let's find everyone. Not just some, because we've created a gray area now. Spinning someone out and having them hit the wall is fine, but you can't door slam it people in the wall. This is bad. This is bad.
I agree.
JD Motorsports sounds like they filed for bankruptcy and aren't racing anymore. They are not on the entry list for Indianapolis. They've been a long time Xfinity Series team since like 2002. Notably, helped the career of Ross Chastain. And the other thing that they're known for is they were running 4 Flex Seal and family of products sponsored cars for a while back in like 2017 to like 2020. So that was awesome, but no, you will not be seeing the red cars of JD Motorsports anymore. At least likely not. They might be able to show up for a race here and there at best, but sounds like they're done. And Ethan,
Yes.
I have a game for you. It's called the Corey LaJoy game.
Uh-oh.
All right. I'm going to give you a series of drivers. And in their NASCAR National Series career, you must tell me, have they won more or less than Corey LaJoy? And that is on NASCAR National Series. For those of you who don't know, it's Cup, Xfinity, and Truck. All right. Starting off with Corey LaJoy's teammate, Carson Hocevar.
Mm-hmm.
More for Hocevar? Is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna say less.
You'd be incorrect. Hocevar has more.
Mm.
Zane Smith.
What's the numbers here?
I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Okay.
Zane Smith, Corey LaJoy's other teammate. Does he have more NASCAR National Series wins than Corey LaJoy?
Zane Smith. No.
Zane Smith does.
Okay.
Daniel Hemrick.
Okay. No.
Daniel Hemrick has more NASCAR National Series wins than Corey LaJoy.
Okay.
Boris said, does he have more or less than Corey LaJoy?
At this point, I feel like I have to say more.
Yes, he does. Boris said has more. Jeremy Clements.
I never heard of Jeremy Clemens. We're hammering the more.
Jeremy Clemens has more Xfinity wins than Mr. Corey LaJoy does.
Okay, how many wins does Corey LaJoy have?
Wait for it. This is gonna get good. What about the legend Dylan?
More.
Yes. Tyler Ankrum.
Again, never heard of this guy. We are absolutely hammering the more.
Yes. Tyler Ankrum does have more.
Do I have more NASCAR National Series wins than Corey LaJoy?
We'll get there. Matt DiBenedetto.
More.
Yep. David Starr.
Never heard of the dude. More.
Yeah. Spencer Boyd.
Never heard of the dude. More.
AJ Allmendinger on an oval.
Still more.
Yep. Ty Gibbs before his second Xfinity start in his career.
Did Ty Gibbs win on debut? I feel like that's what you're leading me towards. So, more. Does Corey LaJoy have no wins?
We'll get to that. Timmy Hill on iRacing.
I think you've made your point. More.
Yes, we've got 4 more.
Okay. I started off pretty rocky, but I think I'm pretty good at this game by now.
Chris Buescher when there is fog.
Legend in the fog. More.
Yes. Eric Almirola while not driving the car.
Obviously more.
Yes. Myself at K1 speed.
Unfortunately more.
It actually is the same. And then you and I in the NASCAR National Series in real life
Equal.
equal. Yep. Corey LaJoie has 0 wins,
Wow.
and he's a Cup driver. So yeah, giving you the stats here, real
So is he
quick.
just Mr. Consistent? Like, I guess I just assumed that he had multiple wins before becoming a Cup Series driver. Like, I don't know.
Well, no, he was just promoted because he had sponsorship money.
I never looked at
I
his
don't
like
know.
not junior career, but
But
his career in the other NASCAR series.
I he's 32 years old.
Yeah.
I'm just like he.
I mean, I don't know. I don't look at Corey LaJoie as like an absolutely terrible driver. Maybe I should, but I guess to me he's just kind of middle of the pack, and I assumed you would, have a couple wins to be a middle of the pack Cup Series driver. But I guess looking at it, he is pretty bad.
Well,
Respectfully.
he's had 5 Truck Series starts, and then he's had 5, 9, 12, 15, 20, 22 Xfinity starts.
And
So that's
257 Cup Series
yeah.
races.
So he probably should have had more time in an actual car, like full-time season before he got promoted to Cup.
Yeah.
But I don't know how this guy's still around. Respect.
I mean,
like,
he didn't
he-
even do anything in like ARCA, and in 2013 he raced for, I assume that's his father, Randy
Yeah.
LaJoie. He raced for his team. He had 3 wins in 5 races, but he didn't have a full-time seat in the Whelen Modified. He was every now and then. I guess he raced in the K&N series,
what is now Arca East.
and he did pretty good in 2012 for his dad's team. But
Yeah.
where did this guy even come from? Because he had one good season of like junior racing, and then all of the sudden he just what? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He
Interesting.
if you've seen what he is in Cup, he can't perform. You bring him to the super speedways where he's good. He's never been able to. He's been able to run well, but he hasn't been able to click off the victory yet, which I feel like he's had enough chances to do that. The granted, super speedways are very hard to win. You have to be incredibly lucky with where you place your car and who's around you. But he's had time for that. When he drove the Chase Elliott car when he was suspended, he was very slow, way off the pace compared to his teammates. He was running worse than Carson Hocevar was in his normal car. He was that bad. And now every race, it seems like he's just wrecking people. He's got to have, this is, I might say he's turning into Quinn Houff. Quinn Houff, the guy who was known for trying to pit from the second lane. Corey LaJoie is a poor man's Matt DiBenedetto. You got the rags to riches story, and when you got in the riches, you couldn't do anything with the riches. He's proving why he's in there was a rags. So I don't know. The point of the matter is, Corey LaJoie, he's gonna have the Spire 7 for next year, which is at this point a waste of a seat for Spire. Yes, he has some sponsorship money, but you can find a lot of other drivers with the same amount of sponsorship money with better talent. And the Spire's pairing him with Rodney Childress next year, who is one of the greatest, probably top 5 greatest crew chiefs right now. And I don't think Rodney will be able to drag him to relevance. That'll be something to watch next year because I just don't know. I just don't know, Ethan.
You just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
Yeah. All right. Formula One news.
Yep.
All right. Well, Formula One has told us when, where, not why or how, but they have told us when and where the 2025 sprint races will be, and it's pretty much all the same. China, Miami, Austin, Sao Paulo, and Qatar, and then Belgium is getting one, and Austria's is being taken off the calendar. So pretty much the same. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the sprint weekends, but the sprint at China was pretty interesting. I guess even the sprint in Miami was fine. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the sprints,
Me neither.
but they're here to stay, at least at some races. F1 wants to pretend like it's the future, or maybe they'll make it the entire future. I don't know. I hope they don't, but I'm glad that it's not increasing, but it
Well,
just kind of it is what it is at this point, you know.
Yeah. Personally, my choice would be to make the races longer because I like longer races, but not too long.
I think the race distances are fine.
Because
Maybe a little bit longer,
I
but
think we should have a variety. I think maybe some like I don't know, like
well, some
50
races
laps.
are longer than others. I mean,
Well, in terms of mileage, I mean, or
yeah,
like I feel like they're all about the same. I feel like we need
they're
to
all
like
about the same, but they're not all quite the same.
we need to have okay, let's Indy has the Indy 500. I'm not saying we go 500 miles, that would be too extreme, but let's have a race that's kind of a little longer. That's maybe about a 3-hour race instead of a 2-hour
I
out
don't
window
I don't think
or
that's
whatever.
that's not what the sprints are trying to achieve, though. It's just
It's
trying to
not.
be like it even made more sense before to me where the sprints determined the race order, but now that made sense in theory, but in practice it just made the feature races or the main races, whatever you want to call them, made those races more boring because all the opening moves were already completed.
Yeah.
So they're going to this, and it's just an extra points opportunity, but it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's gimmicky. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just so I don't know. Why are we having 6? It's just I don't know. It's random. I don't like it, but it's the way it is now. So, like I said, I'm grateful that at least it's staying at 6.
If we were to have them, this is what I would do. Have one and have it be at Monaco. That's a place where you do something different.
Yeah, I can't think of anything more boring though.
Yeah. That's just if we're gonna throw something weird, that's the place to do it.
Yeah.
It might work. Just throw it at the wall, see if it's 6, because Monaco is probably the worst F1 track in terms of racing right now.
Oh, by far, like not even a competition, really.
Yeah. All right. Move on to the next piece of news.
Yeah. So next up on our little list is Toyota and Haas are exploring a partnership, an alliance, if you will. There's been a lot of talks about what this might be. Like some people were saying, oh, it was going to be an engine partnership. No, Haas is still going to use Ferrari for the foreseeable future. And then there's like, oh, it's going to be kind of a sponsorship deal the way that Alfa Romeo and Sauber were partnered up, where the team is Sauber, but the title sponsorship is Alfa Romeo. And no, it's not going to be that either. It's going to be more of a technical partnership. Like I said, not quite engines, but if the deal does get completed, it would see Haas using Toyota's European technical facility in Germany, Cologne to be exact. And basically, how this would benefit Haas is the Toyota facilities are amazing. I mean, wind tunnels, so much high end equipment, and lots of personnel that they could use. Toyota, they didn't have the best time in F1, but it makes sense that, they want to explore getting back into Formula One with Formula One's rise in popularity over the past few years. And the technical interests, because, Formula One is a place where car manufacturers can be innovative and take what they learned in F1 and apply it to their road cars. Now, of course, Toyota, they're probably not going to make a Mercedes AMG 1 type vehicle, but you can take what you learned in Formula One, apply it to your road cars in terms of the hybrid and all that sort of thing. So Toyota gets closer to Formula One without jumping in. This is putting your toe into the water, seeing if you want to go into the pool. If you don't, well, you didn't get yourself all wet. But if you decide to go in, you can jump right on in. That's kind of what this is for Toyota. Potentially, again, nothing has been signed, but this is what that deal could be. And I'd like to see it happen, just because it at least gives Haas the opportunity or the chance to be stronger by allowing them to use their facilities, improve the car. And another competitive team, I mean, sign me up for that. We don't know if it's going to happen. Deal could still fall through, but thank you. Shout out the race. Thank you to the race. They are the I guess news organization that figured out what is actually going on, because there was a lot of misinformation being reported about the Toyota and Haas partnership.
You said Toyota at a bad time in Formula One. It takes me back to a certain race. Is that Glock? Is that Glock slowing in the Toyota?
Yes. Yep. I wonder if Lewis Hamilton would enjoy a Toyota return to F1. Maybe.
Well, he's going to Ferrari next year. Now, let's say Toyota does sponsor Haas. That would mean that he's joined the team whose driver had the bad end of that. So, it'll be kind of interesting, but who knows?
Man, poor Massa. Anyway, just a little quick follow-up. We're not going to be talking too much about this next piece of news, but Enrico Cardile, the Ferrari technical officer who departed the team, he has officially joined Aston Martin, as I said that he most likely would, and that is with I assume going to be with immediate effect that he is joining Aston Martin. He is going to be joining the team as part of the technical leadership of the team. Makes sense. Like I said last week, he has tons of experience in F1. He's worked at Ferrari forever. he has the opportunity to help Aston Martin try to go back up towards the right end of the grid. Moving on, though, Audi has announced that British Petroleum will be their fuel partner for 2026. And it's not just going to be a fuel partnership. Castrol, who is a subsidiary of British Petroleum, will be their like lubricant and grease people, and British Petroleum, Castrol, and Arl, which is a German subsidiary of British Petroleum, will all have sponsorship placement on the Audi car. Don't know where exactly on the car, but somewhere on the car, they will be able to be seen. So that is news. This doesn't affect just Audi, though, as Castrol is currently partnered with Alpine. I don't know if that partnership would continue or be allowed to continue if Castrol is moving over to Audi. But it's so it could potentially leave Alpine in a position where they need to find a new partner for that that aspect of racing, lubricants and grease and all that stuff. Kind of nasty stuff, but yeah, you need that to go racing. You know, it's not all beautiful red Ferraris driving around. You know, so that's little quick Audi update for you. Another piece of news: Adrian Newey, he's not making his decision anytime soon. Or I'll say this before the Audi British Petroleum news was via motorsport.com. And now for the Adrian Newey news. Basically, he sat down with Jeremy Taylor of The Times, and he released an article that was just all Adrian's words. And there's some interesting information from the latter midsection of the article. Basically, he said in this section that he still eats lunch with Christian Horner, and if you don't know the rumors, you might be thinking, okay, so what? Well, there was rumors of a falling out there. He's kind of squashing those rumors. Him and Horner, they're at least still on good enough terms to eat food together. And I mean, I don't know about you, Andrew, but I wouldn't eat lunch with someone that I didn't like. So those rumors are getting squashed, but that's nothing compared to what he is saying next. I'll just read it. He said, "It wasn't a surprise when other teams showed an interest after I announced I was leaving, but I won't make a quick decision about my future. I need a break to work out if I want to have another go in F1. I also don't want to risk going stale. There are some drivers like Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso who I would have loved to work with, but so far it has not been the right place or time in terms of us coming together. I got extremely well with Nigel Mansell at Williams, even though he had a Marmite character, and Max Verstappen, who was a tremendous pleasure to work with at Red Bull. I don't know what my future holds, but instead of dashing around the world to Grand Prix races this summer, I'll be able to see my family." And I think that kind of says it all, especially that last part. Adrian Newey, he's not closing the door on F1, but those rumors earlier, oh, he's already signed with Ferrari, oh, he's going to Aston Martin, those, you have to believe those are squashed now. I mean, the guy, he wants to spend time with his family after working for so many years. Completely understandable, completely respectable. If he wants to come back to F1, the door is open. Of course, teams would love to always have him, even in just an advisor role. But he's done for now. And I think that, you know, as long as he's happy with his decision, it's the right move for him.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for the guy. You know, he's had so much success, and now it's time to enjoy himself, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes like an advisor role, someone.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it sounds like he's on. And
I
no,
think his
Ethan.
hands-on days are pretty over.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ethan, I would not want to eat lunch with someone I don't like either. You know,
Yeah.
a certain person that we both know probably comes to both of our mind. Who shares a name with a current F1 driver.
Text me because I have no idea what I have no idea. Moving on though, Max Verstappen. If you'll remember, back a couple years ago, when he and Lewis Hamilton came together at the British Grand Prix, and he crashed. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
You would not want to eat lunch with him, would you?
No, I would not. Nor would I want to eat pastries with him. Little hint there. Max Verstappen, he crashed into the wall at cops at 150 miles per hour, 51 Gs, in absolutely huge crash. And Verstappen, he told Red Bull's in-house magazine, the Red Bulletin, since my Silverstone crash, I've been struggling with vision problems, especially on bumpy tracks or those with many advertising boards along the track. And that's kind of crazy. I mean, the fact that Max is suffering from vision issues and he's still driven this well. I mean, I don't think he has any reason to lie or exaggerate. He doesn't need to make up excuses for anything. That's just him. I believe that's him being genuine. And man, like that must be really tough, honestly. Like having vision issues while going a bajillion miles per hour. That doesn't sound like a great time to me.
Yeah. I know there's been a movement lately where a lot of NASCAR drivers are wearing glasses now. Logano, Harvick, Cindric. I don't know who else. I think Reddick wears glasses too.
I don't really think that'd be something that glasses would
I don't know.
fix, though. I don't know.
And then you have recently an IndyCar where Santino Ferrucci, he has some sort of eye condition. So a couple years ago at the Indy 500, he ran a tinted aero screen.
Mm-hmm.
But IndyCar banned that and made him go back to a tinted visor. So yeah, eye conditions are nothing new, but this is kind of different.
It is different because it was brought on by a major impact, which makes me, in my extremely cannot express how much extremely unprofessional medical opinion, that it sounds more like a head thing than an eye thing, which I don't know. I hope Max is all good, but yeah, just I don't know, maybe something to look out for. Just really the reason I brought it up is just to put even more appreciation on this great run he's had, because that was in 2021. He has won world championships since then with vision issues that are making it harder for him to race. So just a quick little shout out to Max Verstappen there. But if you want, Andrew, you can take the next piece of news.
Hold on, Ethan. Before we go to that, some breaking news. Haas extends Ferrari power unit deal through 2028.
That's been news, I think.
It was published earlier today. But yeah.
Was it published earlier today?
Yeah.
It was. Okay, I don't know why I thought that was just news that was already out there.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it earlier. I thought it was breaking news for us. But yeah, Haas staying with Ferrari.
Yeah,
Not
so
surprising.
that kind of shows even more. Yeah, Toyota, they're not going to be the Haas engine partners.
Yeah. Going over to IndyCar, Hunter McElroy McIlroy. He'll be making his IndyCar debut for Dale Coyne in Toronto Indy 18. That was one of Nolan Siegel's scheduled races. Now, Nolan Siegel's kind of driving for Arrow McLaren. So yeah, that was the only race left that the 18 needed to fill. 51 cars still. No clue who's driving that as of now. Jack Harvey won't be in it. He still has a bad back. I don't know. Maybe could be any of the drivers that they've used this year. Could be someone else entirely. I don't know. We'll see. Hunter McElroy, he had a good season in Indy Lights last year, or Indy Next. Finished behind who won the Indy Next championship last year. Finished behind someone. Christian Rasmussen. That's who. So yeah. Yeah, that's really it. Well, I think he can run well, I guess, but nothing there. We'll see. Hopefully, we get to some more Toby Sowery races as we head into the previews. Ethan,
Let's do it.
And now for next week's race previews.
NASCAR is heading to Indianapolis. Cup and Xfinity going to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Oval. First time since the Cup Series since 2020. First time in Xfinity Series since 2019. Trucks, they're going to the Indianapolis Raceway Park, the short oval there. Just not too far from there. Notable entries for the race. You have the 15 of Cody Ware again. 16 will be AJ Allmendinger. Of the open cars, we have not one, not two, but three this week. You have Jimmy the Juggernaut Johnson. He'll be racing in his 84. He normally runs for Legacy. BJ McLeod will be in the 66 this week for MBM. And then Ty Dillon will be in the 33 this week for the third Richard Childress racing car. I think that this is his first ever start. Actually, I think he might have ran some Richard Childress racing before he became a full-time Cup driver. But anyway, going over to the Xfinity Series, we have a bunch of. I'm going all over the place here, but yeah. IndyCar, my 5 drivers I'll give you for Cup in a minute here. But we will get to that here in a moment because my computer just doesn't have working Wi-Fi right now outside of the Zoom.
Interesting.
Which I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, I don't want that. Gosh dang it. No, I don't want homes. Do not want to buy a home today.
No?
No. Your 5 drivers to watch. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give you Martin Truex Jr. He almost won that one time, the 2017 race, which was a spectacular race. Brad Keselowski, he's won there in 2018. Kyle Busch has won there twice, 15 and 16. My other 2 drivers, I'm going to go to pole winners because we don't have any more race winners. A lot of random pole winners. We'll say Denny Hamlin, he's won a pole there, and Joey Logano. Our picks don't quite reflect those drivers, but we'll see. Well, I do have a good thought behind it. Going to Xfinity Series, you have no JD Motorsports, as I mentioned. They sold one of their owner points to Alpha Prime, so don't have them. Daniel Dye will be in the 4th College car. BJ McLeod will be in the 13 MBM car, which is the primary MBM car now. Josh Berry will be back in the AM Racing 15. Eric Almirola back from his suspension in the 20 Gibbs car. and making his first start this year in the Joe Gibbs 19, Joe Graf Jr. He might be in queue because he's Joe Graf Jr., but I doubt it because of owner. They have good owner points. 26 this week will be the driver who was once nicknamed the Flying Mullet, but he does not have the mullet anymore, Connor Daly. 35 will be Joey Gase for his own team. In the third Alpha Prime car will be Garrett Smithley. The Carson Kvapil will be in the fifth Junior Motorsports car, the 88. Josh Bilicki will be in the second DGM car, 92. SS Greenlight cars are still or TBA on the initial entry list. I expect Patrick Emmerling to be in the 00, or not the 00, the 07. I'm going to NASCAR. NASCAR website is terrible. Or NASCAR app is terrible. NASCAR.com. They actually have a functioning website. If I can load it, I can load it. But yeah, SS Greenlight Racing. That's a random team that has won a race. Still showing TBA on the 07, the 14, if I can find it, is David Starr. So David Starr and Greg Van Alst in the 07. So that's the Greenlights race lineup for this weekend. T-Sport 200 for trucks at Indianapolis Raceway Park. You have William Sawalich in the 1/5 Tricon truck this week. Marco Andretti will be in the Roper Racing truck this week. Sammy Smith will be in the third Spire, the car, the number 7. Johnny Sauter will be in the 16 Hattori truck this week. 22 will have Tyler Tomasi. Connor Daly and Ross Chastain will be in the 44 and 45 trucks, respectively, for Nice Motorsports. And Luke Fenhouse will be in the 66 Thor Sport truck this weekend. And that's Jack Wood will be in the 91. That's really it for the notable entries. So yeah, Toronto, IndyCar Toronto, you have this week, as I mentioned, TBA 51, 18-4 will be McElroy for Coyne, and Christian Rasmussen will return to the 20 this week. 5 drivers to watch for Toronto. I think for the Ontario Honda dealers, Indy Toronto, at Exhibition Palace or Place, I can't read. You have, I'm going to say, Christian Lundgaard, the defending race winner, Joseph Newgarden and Scott Dixon. They've each won multiple times. Will Power, he's won there multiple times. And guy who has not won, but is always good at street circuits, is Colton Herta. So I will say him as my other driver. So that's drivers to look out for. Ethan, F1's racing at Hungary. What you got for me?
They are. I had my weeks backwards going into not going into this episode. I realized before, but after Silverstone, I thought we were going to Spa. I forgot all about Hungary, but I don't know. Maybe I should. Hungary it's a tough passing track with these cars, with how big they are and all that, but it can still produce exciting races. There always seems to be something going on at Hungary. This weekend, it could be a major challenge for the drivers to kind of keep their tires going, keep them in a good window, because it's going to be quite warm this weekend. Not Arizona temperature. Hope you're staying cool over there, Andrew, but it's going to be in the 90s. in Budapest. So won't be the easiest on the tires for sure. At Hungary, the teams that are really good, I mean, Max, he's always great everywhere, but Lewis Hamilton specifically is also amazing at Hungary. So watch out for Lewis this weekend for sure. Again, like this isn't NASCAR. I don't have a million different drivers to go through that are in different teams and whatnot. So keeping this quick, really the only other thing I have to say is Sergio Perez, on paper, this might seem like a track where he can regain some form. He finished on the podium in Hungary last year in third, but he qualified ninth. The only reason that he kind of the only reason he finished third is just stuff happening in the race. What I'm trying to say is, if he has the type of qualifying that he had in Silverstone or just anywhere, it seems like if he has that sort of qualifying in Hungary, he's not going to be able to pass it up through the field. Like, we know that is what Sergio Perez can do, but he only went from ninth to third. He didn't finish second. And if he qualifies 16th again, he's probably going to finish ninth, not start ninth. So Sergio Perez, he really needs to start locking in. Hungary, it's an opportunity for him, but I wouldn't bank on it just because of where he qualified last year. And that's all, really.
All right. It is time, Ethan, for the pick points.
And now for next week's race picks.
Last week, I did have the best week of the folks picking. I had Sao Paulo, WEC. I took both points there. But 8 Toyota was my pick to win. They won. Heart of Racing was my pick to win. They finished second. IMSA, not as good of a time, but still a good time for me. Riley Motorsports, they finished second. AO Racing did beat up Paul Miller. Paul Miller, I don't know what happened to them. Heart of Racing, they did win. Windward, y'all's pick, they finished second. Moving over to Indy next. You had Louis Foster winning. Good job.
Did. I always trust in Louis Foster.
Old Andrew Classic. Pick 2 drivers with 2 races, and pick the one that gets the least amount of points combination. If I went McLaughlin Newgarden, I would have had 6 points, I think. No, I would have had 5 points. Because that's how math works. I would have had 5 points.
Yep.
But I went Newgarden, McLaughlin, getting me 1 point for the second race. Pato Award getting Morgan the guest 1 point that race. I will touch up on sports cars. I didn't really explain it real well. You and Morgan did get the point in GTD Pro IMSA, and Morgan shared the point with me for LMP2. I just want to touch up on that real quick. But on YouTube, I did say there is receipts. NBC put out a poll. Oh, what if Joseph Newgarden doesn't win at Iowa? Which of these 4 drivers will win? And they were Will Power, Colton Herta, Alex Pillow, and Scott Dixon. I said in the comments, Scott McLaughlin. And someone commented under it after Scott McLaughlin won the race. Trying to find it here on the YouTube. Holy wheel knower. So yeah, I am a holy wheel knower now.
I don't know about all that.
So that's not my words. But anyway, going into Pocono, or Poco, yes, depending on how you look at it. Corey Heim, he won the truck race. So Morgan and Ethan getting 5 points each. William Byron did beat Austin Hill, getting me 1 pick. And if you have been paying attention this whole podcast, you realize I haven't given out a chicken award yet.
You can't give a chicken award to your co-host. That's messed up.
I am now Ty Gibbs picking him for the first race. You thought he was going to get a first race win. That didn't happen, buddy. Yep.
Whatever, dude.
That did not happen.
He could have if he didn't DNF.
Well, his engine went didn't engine properly, but regardless, he wasn't going to win.
You don't know that.
He was not. He was running.
He was on a weird strategy.
I don't think he would have made the strategy work. I think it was way too far off. But yeah.
I really don't think it was that. Like, you're acting like it was a crazy pick to pick Ty Gibbs. It's risky because he's never won before, but plenty of people were saying that it is a possibility. Even like during the Xfinity race, they were talking about the Cup Series race the next day. People were saying Ty Gibbs' name.
Yeah.
People were saying Ty Gibbs' name. He's good at Pocono. He was on pole. Like, I am appealing this chicken award.
Well, furthermore, if you guys just picked Ty Gibbs, I want to give you the chicken award. But you guys bet me both that if
I will do this bet every single time. Like, I would have done this bet again, but yeah, you can explain it if you want.
You guys, if Ty Gibbs were to win, I would have to give both Ethan and Morgan 5 McChicken sandwiches. But if you didn't win, I would get 1 each from them. So
yeah, that's 5-1 odds. I'll take that.
Well, I'm the one eating McChicken sandwiches.
Enjoy your 2 McChickens.
So that's why you get the McChicken award this week.
Not hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah, not hashtag not. We're throwing a Mick in front of it. Special. I probably would have given the chicken award to either NASCAR or Ed Carpenter. So yeah, but you get the chicken award. So yeah,
all right.
You get to share it. It's a group effort.
Group effort, yay!
There is no I in team.
All right, let's do this week's picks, though, shall we?
I guess so. We're running over an hour here.
Yeah, so I'll speed through it real quick. For F2 Sprint, Oliver Behrman is Morgan's pick. He was supposed to be on the show this week, but obviously is not. Yeah, Stuff happens. We'll get him on soon. I picked Gabriel Bortoleto, and you picked Dennis Hauger.
He did win the sprint last year.
Who?
Dennis did.
Did he? Okay.
He did.
Yeah,
I do my research.
Bortoleto, I can't remember if he won or if it was just a podium, but he did well there in F3, I believe, last year. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's why I picked him. I don't think I picked him just randomly. Oliver Behrman was your pick for the F2 main race. Yeah. I picked Isaac Hadjar. He's been on a really nice run of form recently. And Morgan picked Kimi Antonelli. He is on the Prema come up. We all picked Max Verstappen to win Hungary. You and me picked Mr. Lando Norris. Lewis Hamilton was Morgan's second place pick. I like that pick. I have Lewis finishing third for me, but I could very easily see him and Lando being swapped. You and Morgan disagree with that. You have George Russell third. Morgan, he doesn't even have Lando finishing on the podium. He also has George Russell third. Hopping over to Canada, Alex Palou, he's going to win. That's my opinion anyway. Morgan and Andrew, they're on the Scott Dixon train. For Indianapolis, the truck series, going on the short track, you have Ty Majeski. He's good at short tracks, struggled this year. We'll see if he can get his first win. I'm going Christian Eckes, who is good on short tracks as well, but has not struggled this year, currently leading the championship. And Morgan has Taylor Gray. On the Indianapolis Super Speedway, the oval, as Andrew was saying earlier, first time they've been on the oval in a minute. Morgan, he's going with his guy, Austin Hill. Andrew and myself, we're taking Justin Allgaier. And then for the Cup Series, I'm going Kyle Larson. It's been, like we keep saying, been a while since they've raced on the oval. Last time they were there, Larson didn't really do anything. The guys that were good on the oval, they're either not doing good or they're out of the sport. So
Yeah.
who are you going to pick? Kyle Larson, he's got about as good of a shot as anybody, I would say. And I like your pick as well, William Byron, Andrew.
Yeah, I don't know if he won there in the Xfinity or not, but he might have. He at least ran well. But yeah, the theory is for me is just no. I feel like your Hamlins, your Truexes, your Logano's, they probably should have won there by now. They had plenty of opportunities. There's a reason why they probably didn't. They just weren't the best. So maybe these young guys who haven't seen the Speedway, it's a big reset for everyone. And I think these young guys might have something for the old guys. As Morgan did pick Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, Morgan staying on the Ty Gibbs train. You know what? I respect it. I respect it a lot. But unfortunately, or fortunately, this is all the time we have. So thank you, everyone, for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye, people of the world.
To me, it looked like he actually lost the wheel.
The wheel for Ross Chastain is still and perfect.
Wheel on the track.
Did you leave the wheel loose?
You picked the fine time to leave me loose, wheel.